Shut up and sit down.
What is up, everybody? Hello. It is Thursday at 1:42, and I am Andy Smith, 34-year veteran of the comic book industry. Hello. And I thought I'd take a little break. If you watched the DNA show, you'll know a couple weeks ago, Dennis was over here, and we were sorting out for a few hours my original artwork to try and get it in some semblance of order. And while doing that, I ran across some gems that I wanted to show on a stream. And the biggest part is in my dirty little fingers here. This is the X-Men Forever script from issue 14, written by the legendary Chris Claremont, that I was sent or printed out, whatever, and I drew from. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to show this. And I also found, and if you would have asked me, I would have told you probably a different answer. I don't know if this is the whole book. Actually, let me see real quick. Give me a second. Yeah, this actually looks like the whole book. I don't know if it's in order, but I actually found all my layouts for it as well. So back then, because this goes back to 2010, I was drawing on 8.5 by 11 copy paper, enlarging them in Photoshop, printing them out and tracing them off, and then light boxing to the board for the final pencils. JP Roca, what is good? So I'm going to switch my camera around so you can get a better view of stuff. And happy holidays. StreamYard gave us a bunch of fun little overlays here for the holidays. I kind of like that one. This one takes up too much space. Hey, welcome to Andy's workshop. This one's not bad, I guess. Then we've got that. Gingerbread cookies, they're tasty. Happy holidays is good. Boxing Day is the day after Christmas when people return crap. And then if you're in Florida, where I'm not, or somewhere warm, that would be a good one. So I'm going to go with that. So there you go. All right. Switch the camera. Infamous Mr. Cursed. Hello. All right. Let's switch the camera around to here. Oops. And we'll start with the script. Oh, the Supergirl trailer dropped. Nice. That's good. Okay. So guys, here's the fun thing about working with Chris Claremont. He's old school. I mean, Chris started working in the 70s, you know, and he would write plot style. Now, for you, for those not to know, plot style is great because page 1, right here. Let's see. Page 1. And it's literally a paragraph describing what I'm supposed to draw. There's no real dialogue suggestions. It's up to me to figure out how I want to break up the panels, the pacing, all that stuff, you know, and I love plot style. Another thing, it saves paper. It's better for the environment. This 22-page book was done on 3 printed pages. People that write full scripts where it says page 1 and then it shows like And then it's written panel 1 with the description of what to draw, and then the dialogue, and panel 2, so on and so forth. You're looking at a good 30 pages of paper. So this is nice. So I don't expect you to read it, but for instance, it says, page 1, the sun rises over the nation of Wakanda. A day has passed since Perfect Storm brought her forces to Genosha to confront the Ghost Panther. As the golden statue of Perfect Storm in front of the palace, it gives no hint of the fact that Perfect Storm was dealt a powerful blow by Genosha's secret protectors. We zoom past the palace to a small royal airfield not too far from the main grounds. One of Wakanda's royal transport shuttles is approaching, and they claim to have prisoners aboard. So it's hard to see. I'll get close again, but you can see page 1, I've got a little slash here, and then here, indicating this is going to be a panel. And I've got 1 written over top of it. Panel 1, the sun rises over the nation of Wakanda. A day has passed. So that's just kind of giving me information. Doesn't really, say what, it's not really something to draw. But then here, another slash, as the sun gleams off the golden statue of Perfect Storm in the front of the palace. Panel 2, I decided. It gives no hint of the fact that Perfect Storm was dealt a powerful blow by Genosha's secret protectors. That's caption stuff that he put in. Panel 3, we zoom past the palace to a small royal airfield not too far from the main grounds. And in panel 4, one of Wakanda's royal transport shuttles is approaching, and they claim to have prisoners aboard. And then next to it, it'll focus. You can see my little thumbnail. So that's my thumbnail. So you got panel 1 is a horizontal panel, landscape shot, long shot. Panel 2 is a big shot of the Perfect Storm statue figure. And then panel 3 is the airfield with, in the distance, a shuttle. And in panel 4, the shuttle is landing. So, and I'm not reading through every page. I'm just showing you, this is what his plot looked like. Nice tight paragraphs. 22 paragraphs because it was 22 pages, actually a 2-page spread. So 21 paragraphs as 20 and 21 was a spread. So there you go. That's right. They're telling me the story and I am visualizing it. So page 1, right here, you can kind of see. Let's see if I can get this a little better. Get it a little closer like this. So with panel 1, I actually thought, this would be cool instead of having just one panel, which would work because that's what it basically wrote. One panel and the sun's rising over the city of Wakanda. I thought it'd be cool to break it into 3 panels, different size for each panel, same background. So it's the same shot, but by doing panel gutters, what we're indicating is a pan across with the camera. If this was just one panel, it would just be like an opening long shot in a movie. But by doing panel borders like this in a movie, you'd see, let me do it, I guess you could say the right way. In a movie, obviously it'd be the horizontal screen, but in a movie, it would be this, and then the camera would pan across to this, and then the camera would pan across to the city as the sun rises. So we go from like mountains and far and jungle, whatever, and it pans across a little bit of the city to the big city. And in panel 2, I thought, even though it's a statue of a hot chick, Storm, full figure statue of her, looking good. And then reading wise, we come across, we've got the sun here. The sun kind of lines up with this angle of this mountain back here, which brings your eye down right to her head. So I'm trying to lead the reader around the page, and then you take in her whole figure, comes back up, her head goes down and back around to her arm, which points right over to that little hovercraft. So we've got the long shot of the airport right here. You can kind of see the perspective grid drawn in as well. So we've got the hovercraft or whatever it is, transport ship, the landing strip at the airport, of course, the couple buildings in the background for landing, mountains and stuff. And then the bottom panel, we pull in tighter and you can see the perspective grid for the ship. And you can see some of the, the ship's coming down, so it's kicking up dust. And the reason I didn't draw the ship in is because once I blew it up and light boxed it, I just basically drew the ship, freehand with the perspective grid there. So, that's like page 1. And then, going through some more, we've got, let's see, I believe this is page 2. Yep. So page 2, the shuttle lands. And once again, I just kind of indicated the shuttle because I was going to draw it out on the real page. People walking out, zoom in tighter. We see that Ghost Panther and I can't remember the X-Men chick there, but they're handcuffed. And you've got Wakandan guards walking them out. You've got some techs walking up to the field, to talk to them and stuff, greet them. The Ghost Panther says something, and then it's about to go down. And I don't mean downtown. Wait, is this page 4 or is this 3? Nope, this is page 3. Splash page. Well, 2-panel page. I should say a melee that breaks out between the guards, smacking down the workers at the airport. So they must be being mind controlled. And then a nice tight shot at the bottom of the guards hitting the ground from getting their asses kicked. And to give an example, I don't even know. So let's go back to the script. Chris wrote, panel 3, splash page. The blank-faced guards in the Dora Milaje suddenly attack the members of the airfield crew. It's a completely unexpected moment as the Wakandan fights Wakandan. Please leave room for title and credits. So I added that bottom panel of the crew falling to the ground. And because of how the next page is going to start. And they're supposed to be blank-faced. So the reader is like, hey, what's going on? They have no expressions. They're like, under mind control or something. So then on page 4, right here, I'm trying to remember what I drew up here in this panel. Oh, you know what I did? I remember now, that bottom panel where they fall to the ground, I put that here. And I made panel 3, no sound issues. Oh, wait. Not sure if, or Andy's, but I'm getting a little static and dropping out. Everything seems good on my end, so I'm not sure. So anyhow, the bottom panel of that page 3 splash, I moved. So it was now panel 1 of the next page. So page 3 would just be this nice big splash page. And I kind of left room at the bottom for text and stuff like that. So this I moved up to here. So you turn the page, you see them all hitting the ground, and then walking out of the back of the ship right there is, we zoom in and we see Marvel Girl and Cyclops, and she's walking out because she was controlling the Wakandian warriors to fight. and then we pull the camera back, and other X-Men come pouring out of the back of the craft. And then here we have Kitty Pryde and stuff. I think that's Gambit back there taking the handcuffs off because they're infiltrating the Wakandians. Dun, 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 dun. So I mean that's it. So, you know, for the rest of it, I'm not going to go back and show the script, and I'm not going to take lots of time to go through all these pages. I just kind of want to show the art. Oops, sorry about that. I'm going to try and zoom the camera in a little more. Oh, look, there's the screen. Eek. And by zooming in, I mean moving it so you can kind of see it. I want to try and get it at least so it's flat. So, you know, sorry about having to torque the page like that. I mean, if I do it like this, you're not going to get as good an angle. But, so, you know, here's another page, page 4. And this was all drawn on 8.5 by 11 copy paper and blue pencil. Then I went over it with the HB. I would scan it into Photoshop, place it into a template, print it out, and trace it off to the board. Now, if I was inking my own this out in really light blue on the Bristol and inked it from this stuff, but not inking my own stuff. I don't know if any of these pages are well, yeah, I guess so. So this is page 6. So apparently I've got the whole issue here. So that's nice. So it gives you a little background on the drawing. You know, all of Kor-Drath, I'm drawing right on the page. And so there isn't really any of this stuff. So yeah, so there's some flashback stuff going on. Nice big shot of Sabretooth and Gambit. Remember, this is X-Men Forever, so it didn't tie into whatever was happening in 2010 with the regular X-Men stuff. Go back to another flashback here. In this top panel, a bunch of X-Men in a warehouse. Cyclops giving orders. His brother Havoc is arguing with him. Ghost Panther comes up. So just fun stuff. And I got to tell you, too, the other nice thing about this was when the whole job was done, I messaged Chris Claremont and said, you know, it was an honor working with him. I've been a fan since I was a kid. And he wrote back and said that these 2 issues of X-Men were a couple of his favorites. And it's exactly how he pictured the X-Men to be and everything. And I was just thrilled. So I got to draw the outside and inside of Wakanda Palace. This was a cool sequence here. This is Mystique. So she's changing from this worker dude from the airport, and she goes into the shadows. And then this is one background, continuous background with a gutter. So when she comes out of the shadows, she storms. She walks by. One of the guards is obviously bowing down to Queen Storm, whatever she was. I don't know. And then she enters this big control room. And this dude's like, hey, what are you doing here? And she's like, you better watch your mouth. Watch your mouth, son. She smiles at him, changes into Mystique. He's like, oh, no, we've been infiltrated. And this is literally how I talk when I draw the books. And then from behind, bam, Nightcrawler and female Nightcrawler come in, get on the dude's back to choke him out. So they choke him out. Everything's good. All the background tech I just drew when I traced it off. You know, no need to do all that detail here. That's just repeating yourself. And yeah, so then like, this is what I like about working from plots is this is page 12. Let me see what Chris wrote for page 12. For page 12, Chris started his plot by saying, Kurt walks over to the command console, typing furiously. He tells Rogue and Kurt exactly what he's doing, shutting down the internal and external defenses. So I love this because it's up to me to decide what's in the panels and all that. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to do a tight close-up of of his fingers here and stuff. Now it's Kurt. So why does he have 5 fingers? He had 5 fingers for a reason, unless I screwed up. Let me go back. And I might have fixed it when I traced it off onto the board. No, I gave him 5 fingers, and I was referencing the stuff. So for some reason, he had 5 fingers and not just the 4. But I like doing close-ups like that. And then here we see him looking at the screen, and he tells, female Nightcrawler, whoever she is, and Mystique, whatever. And this is just fun stuff. I love being able to break down the story in my own way. This was fun because it's one drawing, but not Rogue, but Mystique is saying something here. So it's one scene, but I put her in her own panel. So just stuff like that's fun to do. I love doing the storytelling. I really almost kind of wish I could find somebody. Now this is on thicker paper. I don't know why. I wish I could, and this is the helicarrier. You can barely see it, but there's the helicarrier roughed in. I wish this is all I had to do and I could find a good finisher that could take this stuff. I could just like take it and do the finishes on it and stuff, because I think that would be really cool. And, find somebody, of course, that would, find a finisher that would keep my style, but add some of their own style. So not like an Alfredo Acala, who has passed away, but was very heavy-handed. Because this is the fun part for me. After this, I still have fun working on the pages, but it definitely becomes a little more of a job. Oh, this was cool. In the first panel, we get to see this hallway here. And at the end of the hallway is Gambit and Sabretooth. And you see all the guards on the floor that they took out. And then we move in tighter to see Gambit's trying to break security system to get in. And Sabretooth's like, "You're an idiot." And Kitty Pryde comes through a wall and she's like, "Boys, boys, boys. Don't fight." I agree. I should try it with a few artists. If anybody's watching and wants to reach out to me, I'm more than happy to send over stuff like this, because I don't really have anything from Kor-Drath. Or actually, I take it back. I do. Anyhow, I'm willing to try it out if whoever would like to try it wants to reach out. I'm not paying you. Straight up. Now tell me, are you going to love me forever? Hi, hi, hi. This page was really fun. Now, so the doors open and we get this reaction shot, of them. Sabretooth's kind of like, Gambit's like, "Told you I could do it." Sabretooth's like, "Whatever." And then we go to this panel, a down shot of them walking into the room. And you see a dude passed out, knocked out in the background. And then we pull the camera back for the weapons chambers. They were going into the weapons room. And basically, Chris just described this big, long room that just has tables in the center with like spears and stuff, Wakanda weapons, and then guns that are lining the walls, and it's Wakanda. So I made up a bunch of different types of guns. We're not talking real guns, of course. And then like for guns that are high up, you've got these mechanical robot hands that can travel the length of the room to pull the guns off. Same on this side, all these different guns. But the thing that's cool about it, right here is the perspective point. So this is like, it's 2-point perspective. So you've got the 1 point here, and then the second vanishing point's way up off the page. But what's cool is the point for the down shot I used here for the perspective looking down is the exact same point for the room. So to lead your eye, this drives your eye down to the room from this second panel. I love stuff like that. So they load up. We cut back to a different place in the Wakanda headquarters where I think that's Polaris there standing at the standing guard, basically, as guards are knocked out, and we go inside and we got Cyclops and Havoc working. That's clever. I'm stealing it. Steal it. It's about leading the eye around the page. Cyclops and Gambit, or not Gambit, but Havoc working controls at a panel. Havoc's talking to him. Cyclops is like, whatever. He pushes a button on the control panel. Then we see Nick Fury at a computer screen on the helicarrier, and then he motions to a SHIELD agent, and you got a couple other SHIELD agents down below working at some monitors. And Nick's like, we got to get on this. And so, another SHIELD agent runs up to Nick as another one in the background takes off to go urgently somewhere. And Nick looks up at the screen all in panic. Things are heating up, guys. Cut back. Cyclops says something. Jean Grey comes racing in the room to Cyclops and Havoc. You can see the perspective grid in blue. I do a perspective grid for every panel. But I saved to draw that tech for the large board. And then she's worried. She's like, no, woe is me. So even though she's worried, I figured I'll do a big shot of her. I gave her thin hips because she's younger. You could see I had her hip out further. Good birthing hips. But she's a younger version, so I have thinner hips and stuff. She's woe is me. Oh, page 18. Oh, I changed that. So that's not the panel that saw print. That panel 2 with her coming in the room. Instead, I think in panel 1, he hears something from off panel and he turns his head. And then I decided instead of showing her coming in the room, I would do a shot like this where they're turning to see, like, whoa, what's that? And then the camera pulls back and reverses angle and we see it's Jean Grey. So there you go. Look at that. Yeah. And I got a cool shot of Cyclops in there because Havoc's wearing a jacket. Blah jacket. And then boom, remember who was guarding the door? Polaris. Turn the page. And Polaris gets blasted through the door past, Jean, Cyclops, and Havoc. And it's a silhouette, so we don't know who did it. And she gets slammed into some computer crap. And you can see the doors lying on the ground. And Havoc runs over to her. And then, oh no, walking into the room, Nick Storm. Dun, dun, dun. And then we've got Cyclops pointing. And he's like, what did you do? And it says redo head. So I probably redrew the head. We get dramatic upshot of Perfect Storm. Remember, leave room for dialogue. And then in silhouette, who's that? Because this is total silhouette. You see the little feather. So is it Captain America? What? And then we don't end the book. 2-page spread. Oops. And I own this original art. 2-page spread. It's the Avengers with Perfect Storm walking in. Yeah, we got Thor with a beard. The Vision's color totally white. Spider-Woman, Quicksilver, Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, Captain America. Yeah, baby. Big, bold, badass 2-page spread right there. And then the last page of the book. Oh, this was a fun one. I'm going to cover the bottom panel so I can do a reveal. So the top 4 panels of the last page start the long shot, scene change. You got some characters, can't tell who they are in that first panel, walking up to a hut. We pull the camera in closer, and it's Ghost Tiger and I don't know who that other X-Men chick is. It's not Blink. I can't remember her name. But then Ghost Tiger, they go into the hut. She takes her helmet off. Oh, damn, smack! All issue. That Ghost Tiger is actually the real Storm with her mohawk. And then who's in the hut? What's in the box? Who's in the hut? Oh, yeah. Things are heating up next issue with Doctor Strange. Lots of black. He's floating above the floor with candles lit, and you got stuff in jars. I guess I didn't really draw the stuff in the jars yet. I saved that for the real page. You got shrunken heads, and he's in the hut. So I got to draw Doctor Strange in issue 15. Good times. So that is a whole issue of my breakdowns for X-Men Forever number 14. Yeah. I'm not going to switch the camera back just yet because I do have other stuff I want to show. Oddities, if you will. And the biggest one is going to be at the very last part of the stream, just in case. I did do some censoring on what I'm going to show, but you never know. So let's move on to some oddities. What's in the folder? What's in the folder, guys? This was something back in 1999. A buddy of mine, this is before CrossGen, who wanted to break into comics, writer I knew named Jermaine, came up with a concept called the Nuclear Family. This is the only color piece. And he really liked, and I did too, the art in Fantastic Four Heroes Reborn by Salvador LaRocca and our very own Art to Bear. And he was like, I'd love it in that type of style. And I was like, oh my God, dude, not only do I own a page of art from an issue of Fantastic Four by Salvador LaRocca, I said, I love that style. So this has that character drawing. It's got a few printouts. I haven't gone through this folder in a long time, so this is kind of new for me. So there might be doubles of stuff. This is the original art, or no, it's not. Wait, yeah, it is. This is the original art to that drawing. I inked it with a marker. It's on bond paper. And this is the style I was working in at the time before I went to CrossGen. So pseudo kind of cartoony. These are Jermaine's actual notes. Surprised I actually have his handwritten notes because my handwriting is not that neat. And then we've got, I love these. I wish I still had these concept pages. So this is the original Blue Line drawing. The Salvador run on FF is some of my favorite as well. Dude, I love it. I got to see if that's collected in a trade paperback. If anybody knows, let me know. So I love these concept sketch pages, Blue Line. I bought a pack of them, and you could do your sketch of whatever and then write your notes and stuff. And so there's my concept sketch for the dude. I've got the original sketches in here, but actually I've got the finished inks. So there's like a teenage son. We've got the photocopy of the sketch of the guy, the mother, and all their originals are in here. They collected it in 3 volumes. Oh, send me a private message with a link. And if you don't want to, because I'm sounding lazy, I understand and I'll do the legwork. There's a little boy. Here they are. Oh, this is cool. Now this is low res, but this is the family all together. The nuclear family, the dad, the mom, the teenage son, the preteen girl, the little boy, the dog, the cat. This would have been so fun to do. And then here's the original art. So these I just inked right on the sketch pages. And I would have just drawn it. If I ever did this again, I would draw it like this. You know, I love working in this style. And it's funny, it's one of the few styles I could snap back into this pretty quick. There's the dog and cat. Teenage boy. Look at that. It's original art. God, I wish they still did these concept sketch pages. Oh, look at that. There's a Tarzan for fun. That's neat. Glad it isn't anything awful. The girl. And then the little boy, I guess I didn't do on a sketch page. Piece of layout paper. Or I traced them off, I should say. And then I actually took the sketch of the guy, and because we settled on doing kind of a Salvador LaRocca thing, which has more solid blacks. So this is on Bristol board. I traced it right off, and this is actually inked with a 102 pen point. So there you go. The nuclear family. They go nuclear. All right, let's dive into some other fun stuff. The story wasn't, yeah. Let's see. So Steve Alton, who is the writer, creator of Meg. If you guys saw the movie Meg, Steve Alton wrote the book that movie was adapted from, 1 and 2, actually. Oh, I got the links. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So there you go. Steve and I, so I've got the, I got to delete something here. Is that an overlay? Yes, it is. We'll delete this. Okay, he should be able to do it now. Then it's blowing me up while I'm trying to do a stream. So Steve and I, once I told him what I did, he wanted to collaborate on something called Sharkman. So these are the main characters. This was going to be like a cover because we did pitch it and stuff. So this is Sharkman, a human that is encoded with shark DNA, becomes Sharkman. This was fun to draw. He wrote character descriptions. These are the main characters. So this was really fun piece to do. Guys, I love Jack Kirby. This is back from 1999, and basically just playing around, doing my version of Jack Kirby. So Light Ray, love that character, Light Ray. Let's see if, speaking of light, I don't think that does any help. Turn it off. Light Ray, just some dude in the Kirby-esque Andy Smith style. Of course, you think Kirby, you think Silver Surfer. Reed Richards, of course, inked with a big fat brush. Sue Storm. So. Oh, and then here is, I was saying when we were doing the original art stream, this is from 99 as well. I love John Romita Jr.'s art and his pencils. And I have copies of pencils by John. And I mean, his pencils pretty much look like this. That's one reason John can draw so fast. He doesn't get all anal retentive when it comes to rendering and feathering. So he does need an inker to do his stuff. That's what his pencils look like. And then I was like, I'll slap some inks over it. So this is all just brush messing around with it. But that is pretty much how John's pencils look. Oh, this goes back. There's no date. This is probably 25, 30 years old. I was in San Diego, and I knew an editor that worked for Humanoids Publishing, and they do the hardcovers and stuff. And we were talking, and he's like, look, I know you can do superheroes and storytelling. obviously, but we don't do that type of stuff. If you want to work up a sample page from a script, just one page, he was like, just work up one page. From the script and what you think humanoids would want to see style wise. And I had some examples. That'll be fine. So I was like, okay. So he sent me a script and it was about this family, and this girl had this robotic arm and stuff. And, so you get the fly buzzing in, and then you pull back and you pull back more. And then she grabs the little fly. Her dad's coming over. They're cooking out. I was still living. Yeah, I was still in. This is before CrossGen, because that is part of the back of the house we were living in at the time for reference. So mom comes out, and I just thought, it would be cool. Leg kick. Hello, Andy and everyone at work. Listening. Cool. I like JR's early pencils on X-Men, but I don't like his newer style where everyone has 5 o'clock shadow, including the women. That's funny. So anyhow, I thought just a cool linear style with no real solid blacks would be cool, because, coloring wise back then, they did more watercolory looking type stuff. So this is all inked with a 102. It's real fun. I like working in this style because when I don't have to think about spotting black areas and stuff, it frees my mind up more. So this was a fun page. And then last, but not last, I still have the other real fun stuff. If you guys remember the Dable brothers, well, they did a Frankenstein book. The Dable brothers, Dabel brothers. And they did a Frankenstein book. And they said, could you, we've got 8 pages that need to be drawn. Brett Booth already did the layouts because Brett Booth was drawing them at the time. And his work was shot right from his pencils. They weren't inked. And they said, look, could you take Brett's layouts, tighten them up? We're going to color it from the pencils. So do not ink it. And can you try and mimic Brett Booth's art style? And, it's commercial art. I was like, yeah, if that's what it's going to take, get me a paycheck. So this is Brett Booth layouts that they sent me, and I traced off, and I had his work right next to me. Admiral Whack-Ass. It's all right, Andy. My mind is also more at ease when I don't have to worry about spotting the blacks. On artwork, that is. I never knew you were his art rep. So these pages were done in a Brett Booth type style. And I thought I did a pretty good freaking job. To be honest with you. I thought I did a pretty good job. And this is it. These are literally all the pages to that job. So there you go. Working in a Brett Booth type style. It's kind of fun. All mechanical pencil and stuff, of course. I don't think there's anything on the back. It was fun being now the monster here. I got to kind of make up because it wasn't drawn yet anywhere else compared to these other characters. So the monster might be a little more me than Brett. I tried to do his rendering style. Of course, there's this goopy guy. They're like stuck together and stuff, I thought I had a hardcover of this book somewhere. I'm sure I do. I try to own one copy of at least everything. So I was one of the names you submitted. Dude, that's awesome. So yeah, they went with me. So there you go, a little Brett Booth typeface. I'd love to see somebody ink this stuff, like a Danny Mickey or somebody like that. I think it would look awesome. And then it ends. I think let me see if this is the last page. It is. So it ends on a sad note. The doctor goes up to the room. They put him in. They barricaded it because he's really strong. And in this panel, he's in the corner oops, in the corner in shadow, and you're not supposed to tell what's going on. That's his pee hole right there, so he can go to the bathroom. And then the camera pulls back, and you see that chick that's attached to him is pregnant. Dun, 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 dun. What kind of baby is that going to be? Gross. All right, guys. Now, if you watched the DNA show stream where we went through my original art, you will remember me talking about these character sketches I did for a story I proposed to Hustler Comics, because they were getting into the comics game after Penthouse. So I placed posties down in appropriate areas. I pitched them a superhero team. I don't remember the name of the team. This was 1997. Here we have Double Dong. That's right. This character's name is Double Dong, a la the two pieces of thin Post-its to cover the name. Any chance of getting the retro version for Lilineth store, or is it gone? Dude, there's like 10 copies left. Link is in the description below. Go back and on Indiegogo now. There's only like 10 copies left. Go get it. So this is Double Dong. And I love the costume design. This would be fun. Okay, her posties are still intact. This is the Streaker. That's right. Her name is the Streaker. All she has are metallic gloves, metallic type boots, shoulder pads, and nothing else. She is. It says it's sold out on IGG. Really? Hold on. Let me see. Maybe it is. I mean, I don't know. This new IGG. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, no. It's gone. It is gone. Oh, we have sold out of the retro edition. I am so sorry. We limited it to 100, so we have sold 100 of them. Oh, so I apologize. I thought they were still available. I will have to pull that down, actually, from the campaign. Oh, wow. Well, there you go. They're gone. All right. Well, thank you for backing it and stuff. Hold on a second. Okay, so the Streaker. So she's fast. That's what she can do. The other guy, Double Dong's a powerhouse. The Streaker is fast. Then we have Maxi Pad. You can see this is covering, whoops, but they're huge. And she just has wrist wraps, necklace thing, high boots, and that's it. And her name is Maxi Pad, because she's like the female She-Hulk type character of the group. Oh, yeah. And I was going to do it in kind of a manga type style. And then last but not least, Swinger. She's topless, of course. And I covered up her hey now. But her name is Swinger because she could shoot stuff out of a certain area where I think you know where, and swing. So there you go. Hey, you know what, Admiral Wackass? The villain very well could have been named Heavy Flow. So that's it, 1997. Almost 30 years ago. Something else that eventually would be fun. So there's the characters. Let's see if I can get them all in the shot. Mom stole your idea. What are you talking about? So there's 3 of the 4. I can't fit them all. But Oh, Eric Larson has a, oh, oh, Eric does. Okay. So anyhow, this would have been for heavy metal. It would have been fun. I would have enjoyed doing it. I wish I could show them to you without the posties, but I like my channel. So there you go. I'm going to switch the whole camera back. Oops, that's not the right button. Oh, that's right. That book. Yep, that's right. I forgot. I totally forgot about that. Do you have the pages for Jungle Lords? I don't have them near me. I have them, but not near me. Kor-Drath beanie, right there. Yay. Yeah, I don't have them near me. So that's it, guys. Thank you for joining me as I went through X-Men Forever, the plot by Chris Claremont, and the whole issue. I did 2 issues, 14 and 15. You got to see all the breakdowns. The issue 14, if you're wondering, I do have the breakdowns to most of issue 15. I think about halfway through the book, I started working straight to the boards. Am I going to do my own cover? Yes, I will be doing my own cover for that book. So that will be happening. Oh, this is kind of cool. Hold on, let me see. Okay, I'll show one more thing from the X-Men Forever stuff to really show process. So there was a scene where they were all rushing in, the Avengers, from that 2-page spread. So that's my initial layout. And then after that, I traced it off to tighten it up right there. But I wasn't feeling it. It seemed too cluttered. So I took a swing for the fences, and I made it so the camera was really tilted, because when the book was published, it was published like this. But look at that camera tilt of the Avengers rushing in. And since we read left to right, top, bottom, your eye comes in on Thor, and then your eye reads down, so you get kind of the feeling of them rushing forward. And I just thought that worked better. So yeah, there you go. So thanks for joining me. And guys, seriously, go back. Lilineth, Infernal Conflict on Indiegogo. The retro version of the book is sold out. Woo! Thank you, guys. $31,534. Let's get it going higher and higher. Straight up we'll climb. Woo! Van Halen. Or December 19th is a Friday. Kickstarter comes down. Billy Tucci's cover. Sayonara, baby. Go get Billy Tucci's cover on Kickstarter. Links are in the description below. Until then, thank you for joining me. Like, subscribe, and share. Go back. Lilineth, Infernal Conflict. Here's the trailer. Bye-bye, everybody.